Enjoying a beautiful evening, and then over here, oh, not again. This happened last night, same thing. Do I take that down or not? Oh. It's all dark below, but the coffee's on. Up in the companionway. A new morning is dawning. Been a bouncy old sail, but the new morning hopefully will bring new adventures and new surprises. Nice surprises, I hope. The sun is coming up behind me, but in front of me is something you can't see yet. You might be able to just see an outline, but all will be revealed as soon as the sun comes up. I, for one, am very, very excited about this. Well, it's not quite what I envisaged for this this view. First view of this new island that we're visiting. It could be England. Maybe I've made a wrong turn somewhere. It's shrouded in grey mist, rain, and it's windy, and it's actually quite cold out here. Rocks down there. Shaddy. No. Just entered one of those acceleration zones that you have around steep-sided tropical islands. The wind's just picked up quite a lot, thrown us about. Down there, when we make the turn, hopefully we'll be behind the island and out of the wind. Yeah, that would be nice. The sun is up behind us, but you can't see it. This weather is, look at that cloud. I mean, do I have a dark cloud that follows me or what? But which island is this one that we're going to, and why is it so important to history? Going past an old lighthouse and edging my way carefully down the side of a reef you can just see over there. And behind it is an anchorage. This is a very, very, very famous anchorage. Doesn't look much. Many years ago, when this bay was first visited by Europeans, the locals came out in their droves, in canoes, anything that would float. All bedecked with flowers, drums beating. One of the canoes, I believe, had a king and queen on. The rest had muscular young men and beautiful topless ladies dressed in grass skirts. And they came out in their hundreds to welcome the visitors that came into this bay hundreds of years ago. I'm just wondering where my half-clad ladies are in canoes. Coming out to wish me well and welcome me to this island. They don't appear to be here yet. They must be late. Or maybe I'm early. I've got to concentrate. This bay exists the way it does because of the reef that's in front of it. Protects it from the wind that's behind me. You can't really see now, but it's really quite calm in there. It looks it. There are a couple of yachts in there. But not many people visit this place, which is a shame. But I got to concentrate on getting in because it's very shallow and it doesn't have any proper markings. I got to get the mainsail down as well. Not quite what I had in mind. Nervous as I am coming in here, I seem to have come in the middle of a boat race. Well, I got my canoeists. Hundreds of canoeists. Unfortunately, they're all sweaty men. And not beautiful maidens, but there you go. Some kind of event. The only problem is it's deep water here. These guys are anchored up there. I want to be over there, but I can't get up there. So I'm going to have to wait for them to come past. And there's thousands of them, hundreds of them anyway. Well, the anchor's down and it's pulling hard. I did get my canoe escort into the bay, but it wasn't quite the one I expected. In fact, I didn't know this was happening today. there's a big festival and canoe races going on, and they got like techno, reggae and all sorts of stuff happening, which is like totally destroyed the atmosphere of what I wanted to do in this rather special bay that I'd been planning for a long time. What happened here 250 years ago, that this place was totally different. I knew it was going to be developed because this is the modern world, obviously. Nothing stays the same. But I wasn't expecting all this wind as well as a big canoe festival and loud music playing and young people doing their thing. So that's kind of put a ruin to the day. So I'm going to put a hold on what I was going to do till tomorrow. I don't even feel I should go ashore, it's just too windy. I had to anchor 3 times when I got in because I was in the way of the canoes, and then where they put me, it was 25 meters deep before the anchor even touched the ground. I'll go ashore in the morning early before anybody else gets out, and hopefully tell you all about this wonderful place that I'm in. It was a beautiful place, this. But development, the modern world has beaten us to it. It's early morning and I'm on the beach at last. It's quiet but not for long, so I wanted to do a special thing on this because it's a special place. Back in the 60s, this beach, although its dark volcanic sand, had white sand poured all over it for a movie. That movie was Marlon Brando's Mutiny on the Bounty. This island is Tahiti. This bay is where the seeds of the Mutiny and the Bounty started with Captain Bligh. And Captain Bligh was here with the Bounty, and the reason why Bligh came here is because he'd already been here with Captain Cook on the Endeavour 10 years before. One of the big things in the islands back in the day was canoeing, and today still is. There's a big festival at the moment. Canoeists from all over the islands are coming here to compete in canoe races. The event is even televised for those that can't make it. Nice bit of kit. I wonder if I can get that under my coat before I leave. Now this is interesting. I didn't expect to see this still here. This is mentioned in the records. This is a small stream that turned into a big flood back in the day and separated the crew from the ship when it rained hard here. This is the end of Matavai Bay, and then it's separated by this small river which caused the guys problems. Originally Cook was here. He landed in 13th April 1769, and he came here to measure the transit of the planet Venus, and they did that from over there. There is a monument here to all the sailors and missionaries that followed them that came to this area. There is a lighthouse here dated 1867, and I believe Robert Louis Stevenson, I think he's a Scottish engineer, had something to do with it. But this, I believe, is a later one, built by somebody else. I don't know who. The reason that the British, particularly the British Navy, wanted to make a note of the transit of Venus was to do with the art of navigation that was slowly improving over the years, allowing people like Cook to explore the planet. And for some reason they reckoned that this was a great vantage point. So we're here in the Matavai Bay on the 3rd of June 1769. They took sightings of the planet Venus and noted its transit across the heavens, and they did that from here, which is a car park now. Got to show you this. This is typical of one of the local boats, but this one is actually fiberglass. And the strange thing about it is they have the cockpit right at the front. This guy actually sits up on this, and that's the way he steers. Instead of a wheel, he's got a joystick. It's got to be cool. I'll bet that's real fun. Going inland a bit, this is the Tahiti of today, a hustle and bustle of modern life. But just behind the bay are the mountains that Cook and later Bligh would actually know if they were here today. That site has probably not changed since the 1700s, and before then even. Indeed, modern life, $10 to park your car in here. Just talking to this nice guy here about this tree, and I told you it's very old and very, very magnificent. He reckons it's about 150 years old, so it probably wasn't here at the time of Cook, but nevertheless, that is just one heck of a tree. The seaman's lot back in 1700s wasn't very grand, and so when the boys arrived here under the command of Captain Cook, they found delights such as roasted dog, tattoos, and free love. They were very promiscuous here on the islands. Not today, unfortunately for me, but they were in the day. Also with Captain Cook was Joseph Banks, the botanist. He was a young man with lots of money. He actually financed most of Cook's voyage and had his own retinue of people with him. Being a botanist, of course, he was over the moon with all the plants and everything here. One of them was a thing called breadfruit, which the natives eat. A few years later, that would lead to mutiny on the Bounty. As the canoe festival wraps itself up and gets noisy, I have to move out and have a look around here. There you can see the river behind us. Point Venus is over there, where they did the sightings of the planet Venus. The crews from both ships at different times stayed over there. Then the weather turned bad, and this became a floodplain and caused all kinds of problems. Following the Endeavour and Captain Cook and Joseph Banks, the Bounty turned up here with Captain Bligh and Fletcher Christian. Never seen so many canoes in my life. Looks like the girls are next. And there's some strong girls here. Come behind the tree line here from the bay and the mayhem of the crew race, looking for historical sites. Of course, there's nothing left from the 1700s, but both crews made fortifications of some kind ashore. It could have been in a place like this. This is one of the few unbuilt over areas in the bay. And so it was that the Endeavour left this beautiful bay. And then in 1788, Bligh, then Captain Bligh, returned with the Bounty and anchored just where the Endeavour had, somewhere over here. And it was in these wonderful surroundings with beautiful women at their beck and call. The crew of the Bounty sowed the seeds of mutiny. Captain Bligh, as he now was sent on board the Bounty to collect breadfruit plants from Tahiti. They were going to be used to feed the slaves in the Caribbean. The crew had got used to free love, laid-back hippie kind of existence here, if you will. They'd never seen anything like this. An island full of beautiful and sexily willing ladies, put it mildly. It was just too much for them. While the Bounty crew collected breadfruit plants to take back on board the Bounty, the seeds of mutiny were sown right here in Matavai Bay.
And then it was time to leave Matavai Bay and head south towards Papeete.
After some bad weather, Bligh decided to move the Bounty down the coast here to the next bay. The King and Queen, they didn't want them to leave. They were getting used to them. They were trading with them. The biggest thing they traded was nails, because of course metal hadn't been invented here yet. So anything metal. And the people, it was in their culture to what they used to call borrow or just take. but Bligh and his people saw it as stealing, and that caused a bit of friction when things disappeared, including one of the longboats. And where they anchored then, it's now the site of a posh new marina. And if I can get in there, that's what I'm going to do. I've decided to posh it up for a bit, get my clothes professionally washed, take it easy, eat some food, anything but bilge beans and chillax, and also do some internet stuff. So that's good, that's the plan. There's a fringing reef down here where you actually have to go through the reef to get into the protected waters and the anchorages at the marina. So I've got to do that. I've got to call port control to get permission. A little bit different down here, returning to civilization, if that's what you can call industry. There is even a city here, Papeete. The entrance is over there somewhere. I can just about see the markings. Got to call port control for permission to enter, because there's an airport very close and the planes fly very, very low over the masts, so you can't go in when there's aeroplanes flying around. Yeah, that big boy just came out and he's off out to the islands, one of the supply boats. Entrance is ahead.
This area is actually called Bounty Key, or it was before they built the new marina here. As you can see, there's a derrick on the right hand side. The wind was blowing me down onto it. I had to come here first. This is the customs and checking in key. I had to come here before I could go into the marina proper. It was a little bit tricky and a tight squeeze, but this young fella gave me a hand, French fella. He spoke English. I'm never too proud to ask for help. When you're soloing on a boat, sometimes you just need a little extra help to get yourself sorted out. Once I had got myself sorted out, I then had to move the boat again, this time onto my berth. Got my old helpers here, Timo and Johanna from the boat Iris. They were already in the marina. Of course, I'm not driving this fast in real time. This is speeded up a little bit just to show you. This is my berth right in the middle of the city. Great for the shops and getting burgers and some beers, but I had to put up with the traffic smells and the noise. Then it was time to check out the city. Found this incredible bar where they brew their own beer, full of barley and hops, and all the paraphernalia that you need to make real ale. My goodness, the smell was incredible. What was an old Seadog to do? All I needed was some friends to drink with, and there they are. The guys from Zingaro were in town, so we got ourselves together and decided to try out some of this delicious real ale. I think the camera got slightly drunk as well. Whoa. Some people have been saying they haven't been seeing my videos come up on their channel or their inbox. Well, to do that, when you subscribe, and I hope you've already subscribed, you can press the button there. Right next to it, there's a bell button. If you go back onto my front page, you will see that bell button. If you press that, that's notifications button. You will be told every time a brand new old Seadog video comes online. That way, you won't miss any episodes. Thank you for watching. Catch you next time.
Bligh had been sent by the Admiralty doing so, but the crew, of course, succumbed to the beautiful women. I'm going to do that again. Captain Bligh, as he was then, Captain Bligh has stayed here, and they stayed here a bit longer than they should have done. And there's a dog trying. Hello, go away, go away. I'm doing a piece to camera. That's it. Go on, off you go. Bye.